What's up, guys? It's your boy Josh Showtime. This is Showtime Fight Phone. We talk all things fights. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Today, we're going to talk about UFC 298, and we also going to talk about Yair versus Brian Ortega. All right, so I've been out for a little bit with MMA. I know. Listen, I've been sick for like 4 weeks. I ain't dying, but I don't know what's been going on. I've been feeling like crap. I finally feel good, so I can finally talk about all the stuff that's been happening. Even in the bed, I'm still watching the fights, still, trying to take notes, make sure I pay attention to all this stuff that's happening. So let's get right into it, because I got a lot to talk about in a little bit of time, because I know y'all ain't got attention spans like that. So with UFC 298, great card. Great card. This was a card that, we kind of been neat, man. Like the last few cards, name-wise, was pretty insignificant. Really didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But this card was not one of those cards, okay? So we're going to first talk about Merab versus Henry Cejudo. Now, I didn't do predictions, but I'm going to tell you right now, I would have picked Henry Cejudo in a 3-round fight. So I would have been wrong. I'm always truthful about who I would have picked and who I had this, that, and the third if I missed a fight. Now, I have to give Merab credit, man. One, he was relentless. He was relentless the entire fight. And even when he got cracked by Henry Cejudo, because this is my whole thought process. Henry's the better wrestler. Yes, I know Aljamain was able to out-grapple him and things like that. And them two are partners. So, at the end of the day, and also we see Merab just out-wrestle pretty much everybody except for Jose Aldo. But yet and still, I didn't think he would be able to take him down as many times and be able to control him. I thought Henry would be able to get up. And I did think he would be able to stop him. I thought that he had the better striking. And I know Henry has power. I thought he was going to be able to knock him out. I was close. But Merab shows that, one, he has a great chin. How many times have we seen him rock and him not stay down? He still gets up. He has unlimited cardio. He has great pace. And at the end of the day, man, he is a dog. And if it was not for Aljamain being the champ at that point in time, obviously, we might be looking at the best 135-pounder in the world. I don't know. We might be. Okay? Now, Merab obviously should be next in line. I think it should be obvious. I don't even think Cheeto should have honestly had to have the fight that he's having next week. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We can call a spade a spade. We're just going to move on and say, hey, he deserves a title shot next. And that's if he won it. I don't know what's happening with Aljamain, if he even wants to stay at 135, if he wants to bump up to 145. We'll see. But the next fight we got to talk about is the Jeff Neal versus the Ian Gary. Now, here's the thing. I didn't agree with the judges. I personally thought that Jeff Neal was the winner. I thought that when it came to damage and who landed, if we're basing the fight off of damage, and I'm not saying totality, but given off of each round, I thought I thought that Jeff Neal won the fight. I thought it was 2-1. I will say that I'm not mad at the fight. I'm not saying it's a robbery. I'm not one of those people. Ian Gary did a really good job of picking his shots, being able to keep his distance at certain times. Sometimes he couldn't, and he got rocked. But he was able to chop his legs down, was able to pick his shots really well, and stay on the outside, and be able to steal. I think he was able to steal 2 rounds. I ain't gonna say I thought he was able to spin. I could understand why you thought he stole 2 rounds. I'm okay with that. Not mad about it at all. I personally thought Jeff did based off of damage. And that's just how I'm always going to go. Damage trumps everything. Damage trumps control. I'm a wrestler, and I still have damage over control. That's just the way I am. It's a fight at the end of the day. Can't call yourself a fight by saying, oh, such and such won, but he caused less damage, unless we're talking about endless amount of submission holds. So, yeah, thought he won, but I'm okay with Ian winning. I mean, he's the undefeated fighter. He's the guy that is, got the mouth. A lot of people don't like him, but at the end of the day, that sells too. So I understand UFC trying to build with that as well. So I know they're not mad about it. Now, as far as what's left in that 70-pound division, for Ian, here's the thing. I think he is one fight away for him to be a title contender. I do think so. We can look at a Wonder Boy maybe, because I know he's still, kind of questionable about when we're going to see him fight. But then you also have the winner between the MVP and Kevin Holland fight that I also would be pretty interested in. Yes, that's not a top 5 fight, but these are stand-up fighters that I think will put on a good show. So I'll be down for that. I know some people might disagree. It might be maybe put him up against a wrestler, a hardcore wrestler, maybe against Colby, like the guy he's been calling out. I'm also down for that. I'm A-okay with the Colby fight. I mean, Colby is either retire or fight one of these contenders. You're not getting no more title shots. Title shots should be he needs to win 5 fights in a row for him to get another title shot. 5 fights. And he needs to finish about 5 of them. Okay? That's just my opinion. Now, the co-main is Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. That fight was very entertaining. I am A-okay with saying Robert Whittaker won that fight, but that fight was very fun. And Paulo looked good. I thought he looked very good. For a guy who people like to poo-poo on a lot because they don't take him serious, Paulo's always down to fight, man. Like, even when outside the Israel Adesanya fight, if you really look at his fights, he's always down to fight. And he may not be the best version of himself, but you still get a top-notch version personally. I'm not going to say top-notch. You still get a competitive version. You're not going to just wash him unless you're Israel Adesanya. So, Robert Whittaker, right now, I think he's just a gatekeeper. We want to keep it stacked. I don't think he's a champion anymore. I don't think he will ever be champion again. I think he's just going to stop people from being champion. He's going to find out if the hype is real or if the hype is fake. He did that with DDP. I think that's going to be his movement going forward. Not to say he's not going to get another title shot. He might get another title shot, but I don't think he will be able to win those. I think that he will get knocked out, he will get hurt, and it's just not going to go well for him. Now, the main event. Ilya Champion Topuria versus Alexander Volkanovski. Now, if I was judging this fight beforehand, who would I have picked? I would have still picked Topuria. Now, here's the reason why I'll say I would have picked Topuria. The main reason why, and pretty much the only reason why I would have picked Topuria, is because Alexander Volkanovski just got knocked out. It's one thing to get like TKO'd. It's another thing to just lose a fight. It's another thing to get KO'd. He's been KO'd one other time. I think that was actually a TK. I don't think he was knocked out clean. He was knocked out bad with a head kick versus Islam. There's no way I was going to be able to put my money on a guy who just got concussed. I can't do that. It was less than 3 months ago. Less than 4 months ago. I can't put my money on that. So, yes. And here's the thing. Alex looked good. He didn't look bad at all. And some people will even say he won the first round. But the problem is, man, once you have that brain rattled, you gotta let it rest. You gotta give it time. You can't tell me after his knockout he didn't spar for that next 3-4 months. Your brain is not resting, brother. There's no way you're gonna say that. I mean, even if it was 3 months and then that last month you was sparring, brother, your brain needs a little bit more than 3 to 4 months to rest. We can't be letting this do. And then they talk about a rematch. No. The UFC should be sued if they let that man fight again this year. Alex needs to be done for the entire 2024. I should not see him unless he's on the corner. He needs to rest. I know they were saying he was drunk, he was drinking every day, he was going miserable without a fight. Well, brother, you need to have a side hobby. You need to get it. Sorry. Because you don't need to fight. Your brain was rattled twice in 4 months. Now, we're talking about damaged goods. If he fights Ilya Topuria again, and he's going to get knocked out again if he fights him again this year. He will get knocked out. Now, it'll be 3 knockouts within a year span. What are we doing? You're ruining a really good fighter. I don't care about the 35 stuff. I don't really believe in all that stuff. Yes, the data says that. The data is just a source. That doesn't mean it can't be broke. Alex is good enough to break that. But this situation, brother, you need a time off. Time off, brother. Time off. So, yeah, and congrats to the champ. We have an undefeated, I think, a future megastar. I mean, the guy, he ain't a great trash talker. He's trying, and also he doesn't speak English, well. So it kind of doesn't, resonate with me too much. But he's a megastar. I mean, my guy, grappler, power, good striker, good grappler. What are we doing here? This guy, what is with the 145-pound division that's coming up with all these monsters? Now, I think the next fight for Ilya should obviously be Max Holloway. That needs to be the next fight. Easily. All right. Now, let's quickly transition and let's talk just main event for the card that happened last week, which was Brian Ortega. Well, I'm sorry, the co-main, Brian Ortega versus Jair Rodriguez. Brian Ortega is a dog. A dog. To take the beating he took in that first period, because we knew it was coming. Here's the thing. I knew that was coming. Everybody should have known that was coming. On the feet, Brian Ortega is pretty decent. But Yair is the most unpredictable fighter I've ever seen when it comes to the feet. We don't know what he's going to do, when he's going to do it, how he's going to do it. It's just going to happen. And he has power in his hands, his feet, his elbows, his knees. It don't matter. His shin bone, it hurts. All right. So I knew he was going to hurt him. But what I also knew was Ortega is a tough SOB. He is a Mexican by heart, brother. Like, that's how he fights. So for him to have that crazy comeback, to get that submission finish, it was crazy. And I do think that has lined him up for a title shot. Now, I'm not saying he should be next, but if he wants to wait a little bit, because it's another fight where he took a lot of damage, and we got to remember Ortega has taken a lot of damage his last few fights. I'm A-okay with him taking a little break, and him fighting whoever wins between Holloway versus Ilia Topuria. I'm okay with that. I know some people wouldn't be, but I would, because Ortega, he's not getting any younger. He's taking a lot of damage. He ain't getting too many more title shots. That was a big win. I have no problem with it. Now, as far as Yair, it's crazy. He's still kind of young. He's not super young anymore. And we all know the whole of his game. It's just grappling. Like, he's not great at takedown defense. He wears out. He clearly wore out versus Ortega. And I think Ortega was also getting to the body a little bit. But he wore him out. And then he was able to get the submission. There's nothing more that we need to say, brother. You got to work on your grappling. That's your only hole. On the feet, brother, you had Max Holloway shooting. Nobody wants to stand up with you for real. Like, it's not a course where people can really succeed outside of Alexander Volkanovski. So I would say, everybody would say, work on it, brother. Work on it. Just work on it. Now, the main event, which was Raw Dog versus Brandon Moreno. I thought Brandon Moreno won that fight. However, it was so close, I'm okay with saying Raw Dog won it. I don't care if you run it back. I think if you want to go Raw Dog, I guess getting a title shot after Pantoja defends his belt, I'm also okay with that. That first fight was pretty good. But I don't necessarily know, man. I'm cool with the fight. The fight was a pretty decent fight. I thought Brandon Moreno won, but it is what it is. And I'm kind of speeding through these because, once again, like, I've a little bit more to talk about. PFL. Gotta talk PFL. Sorry. Gotta talk PFL versus Bellator. Well, we knew who the second best organization was. I mean, I already knew it. You probably already knew it, but now it's confirmed. Bellator was by far, in a way, the second best. Like, it's not even close. And like I said, it was pretty obvious. We should already knew that. Now, for the fights itself, Aaron Pico, it was a good performance, but at the same time, I'm still in the same boat of, you haven't fought nobody yet. Yes, you fought the guy that knocked you out, but that was like 8 years ago. That dude's old, and he's not good anymore. Pico, I need better. I need more. I need something. I need you to step up in competition. And I don't even think it's your fault. I think it's Bellator's fault. PFL, please give this man big fights. Now, I don't fight Bubba Jenkins next. Like, I would love to see you fight Bubba Jenkins. Let's get that fight going. 2 wrestlers, 2 guys that can punch hard. Like, I mean, I'm down for it. Let's do Aaron Pico versus freaking Bubba Jenkins. That should be the next fight. Boom, I'm a matchmaker. Hire me if you want. I'm for sale. Now, the next freaking fight I want to talk about is AJ McKee. Brother, why'd you do that? I wanted a fight. Why'd you beat him so quick? Come on, man. That was the fight I was looking forward to the most. Clay Collin versus AJ McKee. I thought it was going to be fireworks, fight of the night, this, that, and third. But no. AJ McKee said, no, I'm going to finish this in 40 seconds. Thank you for that. But at the same time, AJ McKee is a future champ, brother. Like, at 155, ain't nobody really going to stop him in PFL or Bellator, I don't think. All right, he needs to be in the UFC personally, and we need to see him go against the elite of the elite, because submission game on lock, striking's crazy. Like, I mean, what more do you want? What more do we need to talk? Yoel Romero, cool, good win. Let's talk Ryan Bader. Y'all really was gonna put Ryan Bader versus Francis Ngannou if he won that fight? Y'all really was gonna do that? Y'all was trying to kill this man in front of his family and his kids? Y'all was gonna put that on pay-per-view. You was gonna make me pay to see Francis Ngannou kill Ryan Bader. I'm happy he got knocked out. He needed to get knocked out. He needed to lose. Because I'm telling you right now, if he would have somehow found a way to grind out and win that game, this would have been the worst massacre I've ever seen. I've seen Francis Ngannou knock out or drop Tyson Fury. I've already seen it. Now put that 4-ounce gloves and Ryan Bader. Yep. Death. That was good. That was going to be Apollo Creed versus freaking Ivan Drago. That's how bad that would have been. Thank you. Thank you for beating him. So that's just number 1. 2, you better hope that the money that Francis get is going to be undescribable. Because yes, it seems like a big fight and fun fight because homie been knocking out everybody, but at the end of the day, none of these guys are Francis. And he's actually a little bigger than Francis, I think. I think he's taller. I think he's like 5 inches taller or whatever. We saw that don't really matter. Good luck. Good luck. But I personally have already been in the belief that Francis Ngannou was never fighting in MMA. I still believe that. Until I see him in that ring, I don't see him ever fighting again. Why would he? The brother about to make $30 million. Why would I ever want to? Why would I put on a glove? To make what, 1 mil? Good luck. We'll see if that happens. But that is my MMA takes for the day. I'm sorry, man, I've wrapped y'all up a little bit, but at the same time, I had to because I've been out for a while. So, you know, I'll be back. We're going to talk about UFC 299 next time. And I would love to hear what you guys think about, one, my takes, and also these fights that happen, because we're getting a lot of them. We're getting them every week. Let's get cracking, all right? So follow me on social media at Papa Showtime, Josh Showtime, whichever one you find me at. And make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And as always, man, make sure y'all be blessed.